Hello, everyone. Welcome to Nexford's webinar today. Can everyone hear me well? Welcome, Anu.
Yes, thank you.
Good to talk to everyone again today. Thank you for joining. I'd like to welcome my co-host, Anu, who I know is a fellow MBA learner, has been enrolled at Nexford for a number of months now. I think today, similar to last time, we'll be welcoming questions from our attendees from all over the world. All questions are welcome about any subject. To start with, let me just introduce myself real quick. So my name is Fadl Al Tarzi. I founded Nexford about 2.5 years ago. I've been an entrepreneur for almost 20 years now. This is my first venture in higher education. However, my co-founder and I share this belief that lack of education has been the root cause of most, if not all, world challenges for many decades today. We share as well this common belief that the way universities operate today across the world is significantly outdated when we compare that to the way industries have evolved, whether it's banking or transportation or travel or tech sector in general. And therefore, we wanted to create what we call a next generation university, one that really prioritizes skills and prioritizes learner interests ahead of other metrics that aren't aligned to why learners attend university. Simply put, we surveyed thousands of learners around the world, from sub-Saharan Africa to Southeast Asia to the US to Europe about 3 years ago. And we asked them one simple question: what is the primary reason you go to university? And the overwhelming majority told us that they go to university to find a job. And then we surveyed universities across the world and we asked them, what's the number one reason for your existence? And to our surprise, only about 25% of them said to actually prepare people for jobs. And that showed us why there's this significant disconnect between what universities are teaching and what employers are looking for, and also this significant disconnect between what students are looking for and what they're actually getting in university. So in founding Nexford, we wanted to create this model that's A, that's extremely affordable, B, that's entirely aligned to what employers are looking for, so truly focuses on delivering and equipping learners with the skills that employers are looking for, and one that's flexible, one that deals with learners as partners as opposed to people that we need to order and instruct, to follow policies that don't make a lot of sense and that are rigid. We wanted to create a model that's flexible, meaning people could study anytime, anywhere. They could pause when life happens, when they have challenges. They could move as fast as they want. So in a nutshell, a flexible, innovative model that resembles experiences we all have today outside of the higher ed sector. So bringing in the best of the technology world in the higher education world. So that's a quick background about myself and why we started Nexford in the first place. I know I'm happy for you to give an introduction as well, and then maybe let's jump into questions from our audience. Thank you.
Oh, great. Thank you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Tazi. So my journey to Nexford was basically because I wanted to learn more about how businesses really run beyond having gone to school, but having practical knowledge. And I wanted something flexible, something that was relevant, not just theory. And I found Nexford online. It was actually on LinkedIn way back in May. And I basically just fell in love with it. Like, I fell in love with the vision, I fell in love with the mission. And since then, I've been, as it were, an advocate for Nexford University. Right.
Great. Thank you, Anu. So I see we have some questions that have started. I know we have some of our team members. I see Mai is on the call. So she'll be answering some of the specific questions directly on chat. And maybe the questions that can benefit everyone, we will answer them more openly and so everyone can hear the answer. So I see can an HND graduate apply for MBA directly without him obtaining a PGD? So yes, you can apply directly. Now, our admissions would need to evaluate your credentials. Essentially, the way we think about admissions, to be clear, is we try to admit people who have the necessary background to succeed in the program. As Anu and many of our other learners can attest to, Nexford is a rigorous program. This isn't like a MOOC where you're going to watch some videos and read some content and click next. You need to actually do work, and you need to prove to us and to yourself and to your faculty that you're able to actually master the competencies that we're teaching, and therefore you're able to succeed in the workplace when you graduate. So that's really how our admission standards are determined. There's definitely a high level of flexibility, and that's core to our business model. But ultimately, we don't want to enroll people who aren't prepared to succeed in the program. And that's why, so to the second question, will I be able to enroll in an MBA program without having a bachelor? You need to have a bachelor degree in order to enroll. Now, some countries have equivalents of bachelor degrees, so we would definitely consider those equivalents as well. I see a number of questions around, I haven't gotten my transcripts. Let me answer that question. So there's Paul asking, I currently haven't gotten my transcripts and graduate papers from first degree university. I'm working as a data scientist. I don't have my papers. I can't get them within 60 days. So sure, so we actually have accounted for this specific scenario. What we have is a program called AEP, which allows you to apply and go ahead and get enrolled in the program while you work on getting your documents. So basically, you'll tell us where you graduated from, and essentially, we'll take your word for it. And within, a 60 or maybe 90-day period, we will follow up with you to get those documents. Now, if you need more time to get the documents, the vast majority of cases, admissions will actually provide you with exceptions and will provide you with extensions as you need. We know that right now during COVID, many schools are on lockdown, so that's causing significant delays in being able to get your paperwork. So we will work with all applicants to extend their deadlines in providing these documents as much as possible. But meanwhile, you'll be able to go ahead and enroll and get started in the program. I see we have another question from Damien. I really love the Nexford concept. I've been a student since July. Apart from Lagos, do we have Nexford environments in the northern part of Nigeria? I think you might be referring to physical learning spaces. We don't have physical learning spaces other than that one in Lagos. We're definitely looking to open more of them as we move forward, though. Anu, maybe you could speak a little bit. Have you visited our learning space in Lagos at all?
Yes, I have. I have been there once. It's on the island, so I do not really go there often, but yes, it's a lovely place to be.
Great. All right, so I see another question on associate degree. I have an associate degree in business from one of the colleges in Miami. What do I think? This is from Andika. I think that's fantastic, Andika. The question is, which program would you like to enroll in? For an MBA, you need to have a bachelor degree. However, with an associate degree, you would be able to enroll in our bachelor program. I see a question from David. Is there a benchmark GPA to make you eligible to apply? We actually don't have a minimum GPA to apply. And one of the reasons is that we think GPA isn't entirely indicative of your ability to succeed in the program. So we evaluate your application as a whole. We don't look at just GPA. Many different schools have different standards when it comes to their own GPA. So a 3.0 in one school may not be equivalent to a 3.0 in another school. So we don't actually look at GPA as one of our admission requirements. We have another one from Samuel. Can I use degree in applied accounting gotten from Oxford Brookes University through ACCA to apply for MBA in accounting at Nexford University? So if the degree is a bachelor equivalent, then you would be able to apply using that degree. the best option would be to go ahead and apply, and admissions will evaluate your own case and let you know if you need to take foundation courses or not, or if you can go ahead and enroll in the program and the courses directly. Let's take a question from the chat. We have Zainab. I just got admitted to Nexford and have to start my MBA next month. I feel a little bit nervous because this is my first time attempting to get a degree online. Anu, maybe why don't you speak to your experience a little bit to Zainab. What can she expect during her first few weeks, and what advice would you have for her to prepare for success now that she's just enrolled?
Great. Okay, so there is no need to be afraid. There's no need to fear because first you have a capable team at Nexford. The Nexford success advisors are great at helping you out. And the first few weeks or the first few days, you have the orientation, which just takes you through how to go about the learning platform and the things that you need to know. And as it concerns managing your time, basically what you need is, at least 20 hours per week. So you can always just work that out, even if you're working as I'm currently working. I basically study at night, say between 11 and about 2 a.m. But it depends on what works for you. If you don't work on the day, you work at night, then you can always just switch. So it's more of just managing your time. But trust me, there's nothing to worry about. You have the team at Nexford being there. The professors are open and very helpful. And you also have a team of fellow learners to help you out when you're stuck.
Thanks, Anu. So yeah, just to add to that, it's normal, of course, to be nervous, when you first enroll in the program, especially if it's your first online program. But that's why we are here. That's why our team exists. They're here to support you. My advice would be, similar to Anu's, start by going through orientation. Definitely, orientation is designed to really help you set you up for success. So it's designed to introduce everything related to the platform, to how to manage your time, to what you can expect, to how much time to invest in your assessments, to understanding what's the support infrastructure that exists. So advisors are there to work with you on a 24/7. You'll be able to access, advisors via chat or booking one-on-one appointments, talking to them. Faculty are there to help you as well. There's a writing coach that's available if you're having challenges with writing, for example. So, there's a large library with tons of resources. There's LinkedIn Learning. You have access to 15,000 courses, at no additional cost from LinkedIn Learning that are all there as support resources to help you succeed. So don't wait till you struggle. I think this is where we see many people falling behind, is that they skip all the resources, think, oh, no, I know everything. I'm going to, try to take my assessment right away, and they struggle. So what you need to do is really, use all of the resources that we make available to you before you struggle, and that will set you up for success. I see we have a question from Ahmad Hamdan. I would like to ask about the possibility how to enroll a bachelor degree online. I'd like to continue working essentially while studying. So Ahmad, again, that's one of the reasons we started Nexford in the first place, that tons of people want to earn a bachelor degree or a certificate or an MBA while they're working. So our program is designed to allow you to do that. You could apply, you can enroll, and you can continue working while studying. The vast majority of our learners are studying while they're working at the same time. It's all about planning your own time. There aren't fixed hours, unlike a traditional university. You don't need to attend, say, a lecture, at 9 a.m. every day. You can study at the time that's most convenient to you. And, you can plan more time on the weekends, for example, or in the evenings. So definitely you'll be able to do both at the same time. We have a question from Chris asking, apart from business programs, what other degrees are we expecting to see in the nearest future? So great question. I should clarify that while we started with business degrees, we have many specializations within the degrees. So you can study things like artificial intelligence, data science, e-commerce, digital transformation, marketing. And the way we design these specializations are entirely based on what are the subject areas that are in highest demand across the world. So across our programs, we probably have about 9 or 10 different specializations that you can choose from. So an MBA isn't what I call a plain vanilla MBA. You know, you can study an MBA, but really gain a lot of knowledge in something like AI or data science, for example. And then when you add to that the access to you know, the thousands of additional courses that we give you from LinkedIn Learning, you can really specialize, even in coding, you know, in digital marketing. You can really specialize in the area that's of most interest to you in addition to your core business program. Having said that, we will be launching new degrees on an annual basis. So next year, you can expect to see the new degrees that Mexford will be launching, and the future ones will be more tech-oriented. So we have a question: how do I ensure that education quality from Nxu is up to standard, like universities with many years of experience? Great question. As you can imagine, you know, it's a question that we get all the time. I think the way to ensure, you know, there's several different ways. I would say the simplest of which is to talk to our existing learners. You know, we have a Facebook group that has well over 1,000 members that's entirely managed by the Nexford network. So it's not managed by us. It's managed by our community of learners and graduates and alumni. So I would invite you to join that group, talk to them and ask them about their experiences firsthand. You can also enroll in just a course. So if you're not sure if, you know, the quality is going to meet your expectations, you can start with just a single course, enroll in that course, and make your own judgment. You know, if you're happy with it, then you can convert from a course into a degree program. And the credits that you get in that course are actually going to transfer over into your degree program. The last thing I should add is that we have many, many partnerships with, you know, large employers all across the world, which really validate, you know, the quality of the programs that we offer, in addition, of course, to our own licensing and accreditation. Unfortunately, in education, while this may sound controversial, I haven't found there to be a direct correlation between years of experience and quality. There are many, many, many examples of universities all across the world that are of significantly inferior quality but have existed for 100 years. You know, in many ways, that's actually the challenge in higher education. You have schools that have existed for 100 years and haven't evolved, and therefore the way they teach today is significantly outdated. So while Nexford hasn't existed for 100 years, when we designed our curriculum from the beginning, we designed it based on 21st century skills and requirements. So I see a question again on LinkedIn Learning. Do learners have full access to LinkedIn Learning? So yes, so you have full access to LinkedIn Learning while you're enrolled. When you graduate, you will have access for a certain number of months, not forever. I see another question. If I have a bachelor's degree and what to do BBA, so I get waiver in the number of years, since Nexford BBA is 3 years. So the Nexford BBA isn't 3 years. Our model is called the Competency-Based Model. What that means is that we allow people to move as fast as they want in the program, because the way we measure your progress isn't by seat hours, the way a traditional university measures. You know, you have to go to a classroom, sit on a chair for 3 hours every day. We don't think that's a good measure of whether you mastered the material. So you would be able to finish essentially as fast as you want. Anu, maybe you can speak to that. Have you been able to finish any courses, you know, faster than others, or what's been your average course completion time so far?
Absolutely. Although I started with a course in 2 months, but currently I do 1 course per month, and I need per month. But like you said, it's based on their capacity to, you know, do that. So it's not supposed to be a rush. If you can't do, or if you can do 2 courses, why not take it?
Yeah. So we have people that finish a course in 1 month, others that finishes in 2 months. So we have a question: is there any ways I can get a job in your university and still run my MSc in your university? I'm not sure I understand what you mean run your MSc in your university, but our jobs are posted on LinkedIn. So we have a good question for you, Anu, from Indonesia, from Andika.
Okay.
So Andika is asking you, if you don't mind, share with us how you divide your study hours and your daily lives. How do you juggle basically in your personal life and your job and your studies?
Okay, so basically what I do is I have a daytime job, 8 to 5 p.m. I get back home around 5:30, 6, and then I take a nap, evening nap between 6 and 8, and I start studying. I have time for family between 8 and 10, and then by 10:30, I start studying up until 1, sometimes 2 a.m. and that's for during the weekdays. But during the weekends, I spend most of my time, studying, trying to just finish up. But with that, I'm able to, meet up with my requirements, submit my projects and my assignments on time, and that has worked very well for me.
Great. Those of you who want to skip the nap could skip the nap and use that time to study instead, and then you can sleep earlier.
That's correct.
Sure. All right. We have a question on meeting co-learners physically from Rachel. So Rachel, I'm not sure where you are, but we do run events regularly. Obviously during COVID, we put these on hold. But in the past, we ran what we call Nxu socials. So every quarter we run an event where people can get together physically. We've done them so far. We've done multiple events in Nigeria. We've done an event in Indonesia, in Thailand, in the Philippines. Post-COVID, we will continue running these events. And then in places like Lagos, where we actually have a physical learning space, you can go there and actually meet co-learners in person. So we have a question on a plan for a DBA. We don't have plans for a DBA right now, which is a doctorate program. And I also want to know why the conclusion of foundation path does not offer PGD. I'm not sure, Felix, what exactly you're referring to regarding PGD and foundation path. If you want to just email help@nexford.org, we'd be able to look at the specific case. Like I said, we're flexible in our policies. We do what makes sense for the learners. So we'll evaluate your individual case, and let you know what makes most sense. All right, so we have another question. I've been willing to enroll in the program for a while, but taken aback because I have a lot of concerns. Will the online program go? Where will be the classes? Few physical classes or self-study? So it sounds like Fieshola, sorry if I'm mispronouncing your name, has a lot of questions regarding the learning experience. Are there hidden charges aside from what's on the site? So let me give you my version, and then maybe you can hear from Anu as well. So the learning experience for us is it's 100% online. It's completely transparent in the sense that there's no hidden fees. You pay a flat monthly fee. You're never going to get additional charges for tests or assessments or this or that. It's a very clear, very transparent model. You have access to your courses on a 24/7 basis. The courses include a little bit of reading material, videos, some audio files, some case studies. More and more interactive, modules are being added, such as simulation and branching, to keep the learning engaging, as opposed to, this isn't like a long PDF or a 10-hour video that you're going to watch. So there's a lot of what I call content consumption within the courses, but then a lot of interaction as well. Your faculty will give you feedback on all of your assessments. You can book office hours with that faculty member whenever you need. As you advance in the program, you're also going to have team projects that you can work with colleagues on. There are discussion forums within the courses where learners are going to be contributing to a discussion. So that's the general experience. We hold graduation ceremonies every year. We've had to postpone this year's graduation because of COVID, but we're going to have our next ceremonies in Q1 of next year. There's going to be one in Washington, D.C., where we're based, another one in Nigeria, and a third one in Egypt. And then over the years, we're going to be adding more ceremonies in different countries. So I know anything you'd like to add to the learning experience to give Fieshola more details?
Okay, sure. Like I said, you could learn from anywhere. I sometimes even use my phone because of the very mobile-friendly website, the learning platform. So it's not restricted to a physical location. When I have spare time on my hand, even at work or during breaks, I just click on my phone. I don't have to use my laptop. Click on my phone. Yeah, it's better when you use a laptop because it's bigger screen, but that is not, it doesn't have a limitation, yeah, if you don't have that that luxury of space or time. So yeah, it's absolutely fantastic. You don't have anything to worry about. It's just take it on at your own pace, and you'll be good.
Thanks. All right, we have another question. If I get through your bachelor program, and in case I'd like to pursue another MBA in traditional campus, would it be possible? So this is from an anonymous attendee. Yeah, I mean, definitely, once you complete the bachelor program, you will be eligible to apply for an MBA at whether it's, at Nexford or elsewhere. Would Nxu as alumnus share some insights about what you've learned in an uncomparable curriculum and ecosystem, and how you find Nexford to be the answer for future needs? Would you like to go answer that, Nxu?
Okay, if I get the question correctly, you want me to compare what I learned?
From Kyriakos. Yeah.
And trust me, most of the things I learned in traditional school, and I'm not condemning traditional school, they are almost outdated before you're even done with the course. And you have to do a lot of studying after school, right, to then be able to fit into the workspace. But as it stands for Nexford, I'm actually applying the things I'm learning at work. So it's not, I don't have to wait till I'm done with school before I start applying things. I basically apply, the things I'm learning at work. There are a number of things I'm about to do, create a content calendar, which even helps me personally, even as a writer. I'm about to create a number of business marketing strategy plans, and that has also helped at work. So it's knowledge that is relevant where you are, not that you have to wait for the next maybe 18 months or whenever you're done before you can start applying. So it's very relevant and it's very helpful.
Thanks, Nxu. So we have a question from Sheni about if it says, if I decide not to specialize, my MBA will now be in what? So if you decide not to specialize, then you're going to have an MBA that covers all the different disciplines. So marketing, HR, finance, management. It's going to be what I call a generalist business degree that gives you a strong foundation across all areas. And you'll also graduate faster because by not taking a specialization, you complete less number of courses. Okay, so we have a consultant, can act as agent in Mexford University. I think we'll answer that offline. We have a question from Joshua. Can you please share more light on graduation? Sure, so the graduation ceremonies for us, the way we think of them is we plan local ceremonies in markets where we have the largest number of learners, in addition to our main ceremony, which is held once a year in Washington, D.C. And like I said earlier, we moved the ceremony from this year to next year as a result of COVID. Now, attendance, of course, is optional for those who are able to attend. If you're not able to attend, you will receive you'll receive your graduation documents, your diploma, and so forth by mail to your residence. So we have a question regarding school fees. Can be done monthly. So if you finish my program before the expected date, do I pay for the outstanding fee balance? Great question. So that's exactly, again, a core part of the Nexford tuition model. The faster you finish, the less you pay. So there will be no outstanding balance. So, your tuition is actually calculated on a monthly basis. So it's not like we force you to pay one bulk fee, but you're paying in installments. It's actually calculated on a monthly basis. So depending on your market, for instance, if you're in Nigeria, tuition is about $160 a month for an MBA. So if you finish in 10 months, you're going to pay, $1,600. If you finish, in 20 months, you're going to pay $3,200. So it depends on how fast you finish. So it's literally calculated at a monthly basis, and you pay it on a monthly basis as well. We have an answer. We have a question again from Kyriakos regarding Indonesian social group. So we held an event in Indonesia last year. We haven't been able to hold another event this year because of the lockdown. As you may have seen, we recently partnered with Indosat in Indonesia. We have a partnership with them that provides people with a partial scholarship for all Indosat customers, in addition to free data on a monthly basis. And now, in addition to that, we will be organizing definitely social groups and physical gatherings post-lockdown. So we have a question from Valentine asking about statistics. So if you have a bachelor degree and you study statistics, do you still need to go through the foundation course? The answer there is our admissions team will need to evaluate your degree and see what was included in that degree, and they'll be able to then let you know whether you can waive one or more of the foundation courses. However, recently, we actually added another option that allows you to take an assessment and skip the foundation courses. So we've designed an assessment that shows us whether you have all of these skills that you would gain through the foundation courses. You can take that one assessment, and if you pass it, then you can skip all of the foundation courses, even if your degree isn't in a business-related field. So that's live right now, Valentine, and can potentially save you 3 to 6 months in courses if you pass that, what we call PLA test. The admissions team can give you more details on that. We have a question, is it just single MBA certificate stating our specialty, or do we receive different certificates for specialized courses in MBA program? So great question. You actually receive a number of different credentials when you're at Nexford. It's not only the end of program certificate that you're going to receive. You're going to receive a number of different ones. So yes, the specialization that you take, you're going to get a certificate for that. And then in addition to that, you're going to get many badges while you're enrolled as well. So on average, you could get maybe up to 10 different credentials by the time you complete your program, between badges and certificates. Maybe some of you might have been seeing on LinkedIn examples of people posting their badges. That you'll be every few courses, basically, you'll earn a badge, and there's no additional cost for that badge. So moving on. So we have a question from Sarah saying, I've heard a lot of interesting things about Nexford University. Can I get a full scholarship or an admission? How can I go over to study and not online? So we have some scholarships, including one we just recently launched with Sterling Bank in Nigeria. You can go to our website and check the scholarship section there. In terms of going over to studies, unfortunately, that's not an option. Our programs are 100% online, so that's the only option. In terms of where our HQ is in Washington, D.C. Our main two offices are in Washington, D.C. as well as, and then we have another one in London. So we have a question regarding what determines the duration of MBA program, because I said if 10 months versus 20 months. So what determines it is your pace. And Anu, maybe you can talk about that once again from your perspective in terms of pace. So we have an average completion time. Our average completion time is 18 months for the MBA program, but we have people who finish much faster and people who finish much slower. Maybe Anu can speak about that once again. How many courses have you completed, and how long have you taken on average per course?
Okay, so my foundation courses took 2 months per course. So I did a total of 8 months for that. But since I started the core courses, the core business courses, I've been doing 1 course per month, and I've been acing it. So, and I know a number of people that also do more than 1 course per month. And so it depends, like you said, it depends on your pace. If you can do more than 1 course per month, why not? You can almost finish in less time and get to even save. And since you only charge for, you only pay for the month that you study at Nexford.
Yeah, and like Anu said, so you can actually you can take more than 1 course at the same time. It really depends on your own pace. As you progress in the program, we allow people to take more and more courses at the same time. So to answer Lydia's question, is it possible to take multiple courses in Nexford University? Definitely, yes. You could take multiple courses individually. You can also take multiple courses at the same time within your MBA program. And again, you can decide to take just courses or certificates or degree programs. We have a question earlier from Sheni, who's asking, if you complete your MBA without a specialization, can I come back and continue from where I stopped to specialize? Yes, definitely. So it's a great question. You can always come back and complete from where you stopped and earn additional credentials, as well as the other way around. If you decide to enroll just in a certificate program, for example, you can earn that certificate and then come back and say, I want to now convert my certificate to an MBA, for example. And then you'll be able to continue from where you stopped. So the courses that you took in the certificate will be translated into your degree. Let me just share my screen for a moment and show you guys the stackable credentials model that I mentioned earlier. So if you see here, this is an example of what you would get within a BBA program. You'll keep on getting credentials as you move up. You'll get an associate degree at no additional cost within your bachelor degree as well. As you can see, you'll get 2 certificates. You'll also get 8 badges, all within the bachelor program, as an example. And the same concept applies in other programs as well. So let's move on to other questions. All right, so we have someone asking about they enrolled October 1st. What specializations are available for the moment? I think you can go to our website. You'll see the specializations there, Godson. You can also talk to your success advisors who will walk you through your learning path, where you'll be able to see the specializations. But also, even if something's not available right now, it will become available over the coming few months. So by the time you reach the level, or you reach the stage where you want to take a specialization, definitely all of them will be ready. Maybe new ones will be available as well. If you're just starting your program in October, definitely all of the specializations we have are going to be available by the time you get to them. We have a question regarding, from Godson, can you shed more light on skipping foundation courses and how the assessment can be taken? So the way to take the assessment is simply to email admissions and say, first you have to apply. When you apply, they're going to give you a choice. If you don't have a prior degree in business, you're going to be given a choice to either take foundation courses or to take what's called PLA. And the PLA is that assessment. The assessment is not online. It will be emailed to you, and you'll be given a certain number of days, I think 5 to 7 days to complete it, and then you send it back. So admissions will send you that by email directly. I see we have some participants who are raising their hands. Let's give people a chance to speak. So Patrick, would you like to ask your question, Patrick?
Hello.
Patrick? Yes, go ahead. What's your question, Patrick?
Oh, okay. I actually have, sorry. Good afternoon. I actually have 2 questions. And the first one is more like a question or suggestion. I wanted to know if Nexford has a forum or is planning to have a forum where maybe on maybe by like twice in a year or annually, where you have an event to bring all of the learners together, and employers or organizations will also be invited to that same event. Learners can, or outstanding learners can be selected to speak about the knowledge they've gained so far, which would then provide those organizations the opportunity to have an idea of the skills Nexford learners are gaining, which would which will then make them to start, considering them for possible future employment. They start honoring the certificate, just like every other universities that we have in Nigeria. And also, which I strongly believe will create an alumni a platform for Nexford students to be able to blend together. So that's the first question. The second one is, I want to know if for someone who doesn't have WAEC and the person is over 20 years of age, would this person be able to take the BBA? So,
sure. Thanks, Patrick. So, the first question regarding the forum, definitely we do intend to have events in every market where we have many learners, such as in Nigeria, where we have hundreds of learners. I think almost maybe 1,000 learners now in Nigeria. So we definitely will be having these events, obviously post-COVID, where there'll be networking events with our own team, but also events where we can bring together, employers. And we've had these events in the past. We've held events with MTN. We've held events with Jobberman, where they've, sent over their team to help people prepare their resumes and prepare for jobs. We've had events with Sterling Bank, with Union Bank. So we have events with employers regularly. Obviously, we've had to put these on hold now as a result of COVID, but definitely post-COVID, we will be reactivating such events. We have many open questions. Let's move over to maybe Tolu. Would you like to ask your question, Tolu? Tolu? You're on mute. All right, let's move over to Adiz. Sorry, I'm probably mispronouncing your name. Sorry, Adiz, go ahead. Do you want to ask your question? Adiz? Okay. All right, so we have a question from Uchi asking about, are Nexford certificates recognized in Nigeria? And then a number of other questions I'll answer now. So first of all, about being recognized in Nigeria, I mean, it depends what you mean exactly by recognized. Recognized by who? Formally by something like the NUC in Nigeria, for example. No, we're not licensed by the NUC. We're licensed in the US. Having said that, we've met with them, we're in close contact with them, and eventually, once they update their own policies, we think we will be recognized by them. Many of these organizations still tend to operate systems that were developed, decades ago. But in my opinion, the more important recognition is really by employers, and more important than that is by yourself. Are you going to gain the skills that you need? Because ultimately, you're not. I hope. I mean, your ambition or your objective isn't to find a job in the government. There aren't many jobs in the government. So ultimately, it's about building the skills that you need to pursue the path that you want to pursue. If that path is, a private sector job, I would say yes. I mean, we have many relationships with employers. We have relationships with employers that are even paying for their own employees to enroll at Mexford. So definitely they're recognizing our degrees. And again, examples of these are Dangote, Sterling, Union, MTN, IBM. So we have many relationships with employers that not just recognize our degrees, but even pay for their own employees to enroll at Mexford. Average completion time for AAS and BBA is the second question. I would say the average completion time for the associate degree is going to be 20 months. And the bachelor is going to be 40 months. But again, you can finish as fast as you want or slower. What determines the duration of the study? I would say what determines the duration really is your ability to move faster or slower, which is usually a function of how much time you're able to invest and your prior knowledge. And of course, each one learns at different paces. Maybe let's say you're working as an accountant already. You've been an accountant for 5 or 10 years. Now you may be able to finish an accounting course much faster than someone else that has no accounting background. So it really depends on your personal background. Anu, maybe anything to add to that? Like, give us an example of what's a course that you managed to finish faster, another one that you finished slower, and tell us why you think, you know, the time varied.
Okay, so I remember doing my course in statistics, advanced statistics and economics, and it took me like 2 weeks to be done because I had a previous experience with that. So yeah, there are courses where, you know, you have prior knowledge about, and so you could actually finish faster. So yeah, that can work if you have a prior knowledge. Why not take advantage of that and finish faster?
Thank you. And so the last question here from Uchi is, what determines the payment plan? So the payment plan is a flat monthly plan. You pay the same fee on a monthly basis. And the advantage there is it allows you to really plan your own expenses and plan the total cost of completing the program. So the fee doesn't change. Every month it's the exact same fee. What will change is how many months you pay, and that's determined by how fast you're able to move in the program. I see a comment from Alan, which I'd like to respond to everyone. You know, saying so Alan just finished the 3rd foundation course and is suggesting time to interact with the professor. What I'd like to clarify is there's definitely time to interact with your professor. So there's 2 primary ways in which you can interact with your professor. The first is by booking office hours with your faculty. So this is something that's available to all learners. You can book office hours with your faculty at any point in time and discuss any questions you have, you know, have a chat. That time is purely for you to use in whatever way you'd like. The other is through webinars. So we have regular webinars that faculty hold, and you can attend those webinars. And again, that's another chance for you to interact with faculty. And we definitely understand, you know, interaction is a huge part of the learning experience, and we encourage that interaction. All right, let's move on to other questions. So we have a question from Samuel. How is the fee paid? Is it, for example, $80 each month in a semester, 4 months, $80 for 72 months? Yeah, it really depends on how fast you finish will determine how many months you pay, but the actual fee is the same fee every month. So if you're in the BBA program, for example, let's say the fee is $80 a month, you will pay that same fee every month. You can pay in advance if you'd like, but the fee itself will not change. You're always going to get the same fee, so you can plan your own finances based on that, Samuel. Let us know if you need more clarification, Samuel. All right. So we have a question from Patrick saying, is there provision for someone who wants to enroll in BBA but doesn't have the WAC and is over 30 years of age? So, you know, the answer, Patrick, is definitely we would evaluate your own case for sure. So I would encourage you to get in touch with admissions. You know, let them know what your personal circumstances are, what sort of prior education you have, and they will definitely evaluate your own individual case and give you a fair decision that's appropriate to your experience. You know, if you've had, say, 10 years of work experience, we definitely factor that work experience when we look at whether or not to admit people into our different programs. All right, let's move on to the next question. So we have a question. In Nigeria, NYSC is required for employment in both the private and public sector. Is Nxu recognized by NYSC? So Anu, perhaps you're in Nigeria. You can speak to that. From my perspective, I know that some of our graduates have gotten certificates from NYSC, except they're not. There are 3 types of certificates. So perhaps you could talk about your view there. Great.
So for NYSC, you can always get a waiver after your program at Nexford, so that you don't have to spend that one year doing the NYSC in actual sense, and I think that's even a time saver for you. So yes, you get recognition from NYC, and you can apply to jobs in Nigeria with your certificate.
So you'll get what I believe is called an exclusion certificate, as opposed to a completion certificate, which from an employer perspective, is still an NYC certificate. So that's really what they care about. So we have another question regarding how are payments made. So payments are made online on a monthly basis. You can use a debit card or a credit card, or you can wire money to our account. And more recently, we've started adding some local payment options for people that have challenges paying online. They're also able to pay locally. And we'll be adding some more payment options over the coming few weeks, actually. So we have a question from Thea from Indonesia. What specializations in science degrees in pharmacy? So we don't currently have a pharmaceuticals degree. We have specializations only within our business programs, which are primarily marketing and technology related specializations. We have a question regarding DBA or PhD. When is Nxu most likely to begin a doctorate level program? To be honest, at this point, I would say definitely not before 1 year from now. So Victor is asking, what is the shortest time to complete the MBA program? I think our fastest graduate right now has completed the program in 10 months. I would say the average is probably between 16 and 18, but we do have a few graduates that completed in 10 months, and we also have a few that completed in 12 months. We have another question from Kyriakos, a particular startup, innovative programs, incubator, guidance, or assistance. So in our BBA program, we have a specialization called Building a Tech Startup. We also have a certificate called Building a Tech Startup, and we have many courses related to startups, such as product management and fundraising and product marketing. So we have a lot of startup-related courses. We don't have an incubator internally, but we have entrepreneurship courses. Entrepreneurship is a huge part of our focus. We're actually going to be running a startup, an entrepreneurship-related webinar with one of the top VCs in the US next month. So stay tuned for that. Victor is asking, if I can't meet up my payment, what's the penalty? It's a good question, Victor. Formally speaking, we don't really believe in penalties because obviously we don't want to make people incur higher costs. But ultimately, yes, you need to. If people don't pay, they get suspended from the program, and you can only resume once you've paid your once you've gone back and paid your tuition. So Funmilayo is asking, does Nexford need my transcript to be evaluated by Wes? Or just send it to the university to evaluate it ourselves? We don't need it evaluated by someone else. We have our own evaluation team and our own subscriptions to different platforms where we do our own evaluation. So you can just have the transcript sent the way it is. And because there's a lot of restrictions now due to COVID, you can send an unofficial copy until you get an official copy of your transcript as well. All right, So we have a question from Felix saying, I was not issued a certificate of completion after I completed my foundation paths. 8 months is such a long time. I completely agree, and I completely understand, Felix. You're right. The foundation courses take a lot of time from people to complete, and everyone wants to feel some sense of, recognition and credential for that. We actually only added the foundation certificate recently, about a month ago. So you should have received it in retrospect. If you haven't received it, please email your success advisor asking for it. And I'm going to ask the team that's on the call right now also to take note of that. So if anyone from our team is on the call, could you just take note, please, of Felix's name and make sure that someone sends the foundation certificate to them. Thank you. All right. Anu, are there anything else you want to share with our attendees that you feel is important for them to understand?
Well, so I think that the thing is some people just expect that Nexford is a very perfect environment and there is no itch or no issues that can occur. Sometimes there are, you know, especially with technology. So, well, one of the things I've learned about Nexford and the team at Nexford is that Nexford listens, and as much as possible, they try to resolve issues very quickly. So even when you face challenges, don't be afraid. Just reach out to the team, and I'm sure you get attended to. Because I've had a lot of questions or queries, and I'm like, just send a mail. Next one listens. Next one would definitely respond. Just send a mail, and because that works for me. So yes, that's just the little thing I wanted to add.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, just to add to that, we listen and we believe in customer service. So, we listen to suggestions all the time. We're not perfect. We don't think anyone is. We will continue evolving our offerings as we move forward based on feedback we get both from our learners, from our community, from our graduates, and from employers. So please do send any feedback, any suggestions, any questions you have. We're always listening to those. To answer the next question we have from Muhammad Utaru, with regards to access to modules. So the question is, within the MBA, do learners have access to all course modules and learning resources upon completion of the program? So yes, upon completion of the program, you're able to maintain access to everything that you studied. In addition to LinkedIn Learning, in addition to a membership at the Chartered Management Institute based in the UK. So you'll be able to become a member at CMI as well for a limited amount of time. Now, starting, I believe, early next year, we're going to start charging for people who want to maintain access to everything beyond a certain number of months. So say you graduate, you're going to keep access for 3 to 6 months. If you want to keep access beyond that, including access to all of your assessments, to all of your courses, we're going to charge a very minimal fee so people can maintain access forever. We just have a couple of minutes left. So Michael Ramba is asking, what about the curriculum for MBA program? Is it the same as with a regular university? I would say and hope that it's not the same in the sense that, our program is really focused on skills. The material that you're going to be learning and the skills that you're going to be mastering are directly transferable. You'll be able to apply what you're learning in your current job right away. There's not a lot of theory, very little theory. We had a few papers in our assessments. Those have been canceled. So going for all of the assessments that you're going to take are maybe practical assessments. You're not going to be writing theoretical things throughout your learning experience. The courses that we have, we think are quite innovative. When you look at things like, again, AI or data science or e-commerce or digital marketing, many of these courses are not available across more traditional universities. So the curriculum, I think, is quite differentiated from other universities. I think someone's asking about scholarships. So we do have some scholarships available. You can check our website for that. Recently, we had a scholarship with MTN, which I believe is full right now. But we do have a scholarship right now running with Sterling Bank, another one with Indosat. And you'll find those listed on our website. Tolu's asking a question about an advisor. So Tolu, we'll email you. How do you contact your advisor? You contact them for the success@nexford.org is the email that you can use to contact your advisor, and they will definitely respond to you quite quickly. So final question from Bawa. I'm 21, I have a degree in electrical engineering. Can I apply for MBA? You can apply, of course. Depending on your case, you might need to take some foundation courses if you don't have business knowledge. Otherwise, you'll be able to skip them depending on your individual scenario. But everyone can apply for the MBA program. regardless of what your bachelor degree is in. Because many people we have, for instance, studied pharmaceuticals or engineering and now want to get a management degree and grow in their management careers, and that's why they're getting an MBA. So you can definitely apply, Bawa. All right. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. Thank you, everyone, for joining today, for your fantastic questions. Our team is here to answer any additional questions that you guys have. Please do email us your questions. help@nexford.org is the email that you can all contact, and we're going to be happy to answer any questions you have. Akinu, I see, yes, you only got a badge for your foundation. You will get a certificate as well, rest assured. Thank you, everyone, for attending once again. Thank you, Anu, for joining us today and co-hosting this webinar. Keep up your good work at Nexford.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.